Licensure Examination for Teachers. Subject: Facilitating Learning, Child and Adolescent Development. Professional Education, for both elementary and secondary. Topic: Exceptional Learners and Inclusive Education. Question number 1. Which term is the internationally accepted and legally mandated approach in the Philippines that ensures all children, regardless of physical, intellectual, social, linguistic, or other conditions, learn together in the same age-appropriate general education classroom? A. Mainstreaming. B. Integration. C. Inclusive education. D. Special education, SPED. Correct answer: C. Inclusive education. Why C is correct? Inclusive education is the philosophy and practice of restructuring schools to accommodate all learners in the same general education setting. It is the most comprehensive and rights-based approach, requiring systemic change. Why the wrong answers are wrong? A. Mainstreaming and B. Integration. These are older concepts where the child with a disability is pulled out from SPED and placed in the regular class only when they can fit in or keep up. The general education environment does not fundamentally change. D. SPED refers to the specialized services and curriculum needed by the learner, often delivered in a separate setting or resource room, which contradicts the core principle of all learners together. Edge knowledge. Think systemic change. The key difference is the direction of adaptation. Integration means the student adapts to the school. Inclusion means the school adapts to the student. Question number 2. A student who consistently performs significantly above the average in intellectual ability, creativity, and/or specific academic aptitude, requiring differentiated instructional programs, is generally referred to as A. Exceptional learner. B. Gifted and talented learner. C. Slow learner. D. Learner with specific learning disability. Correct answer: B. Gifted and talented learner. Why B is correct? Gifted and talented refers to students whose potential or performance is significantly higher than the norm and requires modification of the regular curriculum through enrichment or acceleration to meet their needs. Why the wrong answers are wrong? A. Exceptional learner. This is the umbrella term for any deviation from the norm, including disabilities and giftedness, but B is the specific positive category described. C. Slow learner. A non-clinical term usually referring to students whose learning is below average but not due to a defined disability. D. Learning disability refers to a deficit in processing information, which is the opposite of giftedness. Edge knowledge. Think specific deviation. The phrase significantly above the average narrows the answer down to the specific category of giftedness, which is a form of exceptionality. Question number 3. A student with attention deficit, hyperactivity disorder, ADHD, struggles to stay focused during long periods of desk work. Which practical accommodation should the general education teacher prioritize? A. Requiring the student to sit quietly for the entire period as a form of self-control practice. B. Allowing the student frequent, brief movement breaks or incorporating hands-on tasks. C. Excluding the student from group activities to minimize distractions. D. Assigning the student fewer academic tasks than the rest of the class. Correct answer: B. Allowing the student frequent, brief movement breaks or incorporating hands-on tasks. Why B is correct? ADHD involves a biological need for stimulation and movement. Accommodation means changing the environment or task presentation to meet the student's need. Movement breaks and hands-on tasks provide appropriate, regulated stimulation. Why the wrong answers are wrong? A. This is punishment, discipline that works against the student's neurological wiring, leading to frustration and failure. C. This is exclusion, violating the principle of inclusion and the need for social engagement. D. This is modification, changing the content, which is usually reserved for students who cannot master the content, not just those who need a change in process, accommodation. Edge knowledge. Think needs-based solution. ADHD to movement. The solution must address the core need while maintaining the academic rigor. Accommodation is the key action. Question number 4. In inclusive education, the approach that involves designing a product, environment, or lesson so that it is usable by all people to the greatest extent possible without the need for adaptation or specialized design, is known as A. Differentiation. B. Modification. C. Scaffolding. D. Universal design for learning, UDL. Correct answer. D. Universal Design for Learning, UDL. Why D is correct? UDL is a proactive framework. Instead of adapting lessons after the fact, differentiation, scaffolding, UDL ensures flexibility is built into the design from the start, e.g., offering digital notes, varied response methods, and visual aids for everyone. Why the wrong answers are wrong? A. Differentiation and C. Scaffolding. These are responsive strategies implemented after identifying an individual's specific need, not a proactive, universal design approach. B. Modification. Changes the content or expectations, what is taught, which is done for a few, not universally designed. Edge knowledge. Think proactive, for everyone. The keywords designing for all and without the need for adaptation are the defining features of universal design for learning. Question number 5. One of the 3 core principles of UDL is the need to provide students with multiple means of action and expression. This principle specifically addresses the varying ways students can A. Access and comprehend the content, the what of learning. B. Show what they know and navigate the learning environment, the how of learning. C. Be engaged and motivated to learn, the why of learning. D. Collaborate with peers and communicate socially. Correct answer. B. Show what they know and navigate the learning environment, the how of learning. Why B is correct? Action and expression addresses the physical and communicative needs of the learner. It means giving students flexible ways to respond, oral, written, demonstrated, digital, and interact with the materials, tools, the how they perform. Why the wrong answers are wrong? A. This is multiple means of representation, the what of learning. C. This is multiple means of engagement, the why of learning. D. Collaboration is a social skill, but action and expression is the specific UDL principle related to output. Edge knowledge. Think output. Action and expression deals with the learner's performance or response, the output. Representation deals with the input. Engagement deals with motivation. Question number 6. Which category of disability is characterized by a significant limitation in both intellectual functioning and in adaptive behavior as expressed in conceptual, social, and practical skills? A. Specific learning disability, SLD. B. Autism spectrum disorder, ASD. C. Intellectual disability, ID. D. Emotional and behavioral disorder, EBD. Correct answer. C. Intellectual disability, ID. Why C is correct? The presence of simultaneous limitations in intelligence, cognitive ability, measured by IQ, and adaptive behavior, daily life skills, is the two-pronged definition for intellectual disability, ID, historically called mental retardation. Why the wrong answers are wrong? A. SLD. A disorder in processing one or more basic psychological processes, e.g., reading, dyslexia, with average or above average intellectual functioning. B. ASD. Characterized by deficits in social communication and restricted, repetitive patterns of behavior, not necessarily low intellectual functioning. D. EBD. Characterized by emotional or behavioral problems that are persistent and interfere with learning. Edge knowledge. Think dual deficit. The presence of two significant deficits, IQ and adaptive skills, is the specific clinical criterion for intellectual disability. Question number 7. Teacher B wants to differentiate the product for her unit on the life cycle of the butterfly. Which option best demonstrates product differentiation? A. Letting some students read the lesson text aloud while others read silently. B. Allowing students to choose between creating a video documentary, writing a research paper, or building a 3D diorama of the life cycle. C. Providing simplified vocabulary lists to students with reading difficulties. D. Giving students with ADHD fewer items on the final quiz. Correct answer. B. Allowing students to choose between creating a video documentary, writing a research paper, or building a 3D diorama of the life cycle. Why B is correct? Product differentiation means giving students multiple options for how they demonstrate their mastery of the content. Offering various formats, video, paper, model, accommodates different learning profiles, learning styles. Why the wrong answers are wrong? A. Differentiating the process, how they access, work. C. Differentiating the content, what is learned, materials. D. This is a modification, changing the expectation, not typically a differentiated product choice. Edge knowledge. Think choice of demonstration. Product is the final output used for assessment. The correct answer provides multiple formats to achieve the same objective. Question number 8. Which type of intervention is provided to students who are academically gifted and involves moving them through the curriculum at a faster rate than their age peers, e.g., skipping a grade or starting college early? A. Enrichment. B. Remediation. C. Acceleration. D. Inclusion. Correct answer. C. Acceleration. Why C is correct? Acceleration is the practice of speeding up the curriculum or the time a gifted student spends in a traditional grade-level program to match their advanced cognitive pace. Why the wrong answers are wrong? A. Enrichment. Providing added depth or breadth to the regular curriculum, e.g., extra projects, special topics, without speeding up the pace. B. Remediation. Providing instruction to reteach skills that were not mastered, for students with deficits. D. Inclusion. The placement philosophy, not a specific gifted intervention technique. Edge knowledge. Think speed. Acceleration is the technique that reduces time or increases pace. Question number 9. A key characteristic of a student with specific learning disability, SLD, is a persistent difficulty in one or more academic areas, e.g., reading, dyslexia, writing, dysgraphia, math, dyscalculia, despite having A. Below average intellectual ability, B. A severe emotional disorder, C. A supportive home environment, D. Normal or near normal intellectual ability. Correct answer. D. Normal or near normal intellectual ability. Why D is correct? The formal definition of SLD centers on the discrepancy. The student's low academic performance cannot be explained by low overall intelligence. The student is bright enough to succeed but struggles due to a specific processing deficit. Why the wrong answers are wrong? A. This would be intellectual disability, not SLD. B. And C. These are environmental, emotional factors, not the core clinical diagnostic criterion. Edge knowledge. Think discrepancy. The classic rule. Smart kid plus specific skill struggle to SLD. Question number 10. To address the UDL principle of multiple means of engagement, the why of learning, a teacher should prioritize A. Offering an essay, a poster, or a presentation as the final project. B. Using both audio narration and printed text for all lecture material. C. Allowing students choice in project topics and encouraging peer collaboration. D. Using technology to provide automatic feedback on practice quizzes. Correct answer. C. Allowing students choice in project topics and encouraging peer collaboration. Why C is correct? Engagement is about motivation. Providing choice, autonomy, and fostering collaboration, relatedness, are direct strategies for tapping into intrinsic motivation, which is the goal of multiple means of engagement. Why the wrong answers are wrong? A. Action and expression, output, how. B. Representation, input, what. D. Feedback is an extrinsic motivational tool, less about deep, intrinsic engagement than choice and collaboration. Edge knowledge. Think heart, will. The goal of engagement is to hook the learner. Choice, relevance, and collaboration are the primary tools to maximize the internal desire to learn. If this video gave you an edge, sharpen that like button and subscribe to stay ahead.